Hey, recruit. Looks like you managed to avoid getting your ass pushed in.
Congratulations, you're not green anymore. Now take a seat, it's time for another couple of lessons. The MP-46 submachine gun is a cute little gun that lets you shoot very tiny bullets in a pretty tight grouping across a room. SMGs always lose out to rifles in the stopping power department, but this isn't the worst gun you can use. You could pretty easily keep the gun on target for the entire 30-round magazine, making this a pretty decent gun for close quarters fighting. It's no chain gun, but it still shoots bullets and it's pretty light and pretty controlled.
Speaking of the chain gun, the Vulcanet is the best goddamn thing to happen to humanity's chances since this whole goddamn mess started. This mean bastard is going to be your best friend in more situations than you can count. It feeds 5 50-round magazines into an adapter, giving you 250 chances to shift the odds to your favor. Use the zoom key to unload a magazine from the chain gun. The Vulcanet takes a cell pack to run the motor unit, and you can load one in with the alternate reload key. This mean machine has 2 speeds, 700 rounds per minute for solid, long-lasting ballistic satisfaction, or cranking it up to 2100 RPM, putting out a wall of lead that is both terrifying and beautiful. It feeds from the same magazine as your ZM66 rifle, so pick which one you want to feed your 4.26 magazines into. The Slayer double barrel shotgun is a side-side break-open 12 gauge from Cavalry Arms. Now, the best part about this weapon is that it's simple. There are only 2 shots in the gun. It's quick to reload and it stops monsters in their tracks. And you can't jam a super shotgun. I'd put my faith in this weapon over those hunter pump actions every single time. Hit secondary reload to reload the weapon from your bandolier instead of the side saddles. It's slower, but leaves your saddles loaded for close encounters. Okay, on to the rocket launcher. Heckler & Mach made this urban artillery piece to help blast rebels to pieces from strange angles. This thing is nice. It's got 2 launch modes, straight fire and grenade. Straight fire sends a rocket in a straight line towards your target. The rocket is pretty fast and causes some serious damage. Straight fire is pretty damn good for knocking out goat heads, and anything else really. Grenade fire doesn't travel nearly as far, but the unused fuel helps create a bigger explosion. Bigger explosions means more things dead. Splash damage and general explosive power for the rocket grenades is greater than the straight fire, but only in confined spaces in close quarters. Regardless, if something big is giving you problems, reach for this. Hit the zoom key to unload rockets. If you find a heat round, the little tan missiles, you can hit Alt Reload and unload the chamber of the rocket launcher and load one of the heat rounds. The chamber is only big enough for 1 heat round, by the way. The Liberator is a goddamn fossil of a weapon. It's heavy, it fires cased ammo, and since it fires cased ammo, it only holds 30 rounds. I don't like the damn thing, but its full-size 7.76mm bullet stops targets with a single shot that would have normally taken 2 or 3 rounds of 4.26. The receiver needed to fire a cased round is heavier, slower, and less efficient. This means heavier recoil and a slower rate of fire, but the Liberator will never jam on you, and if it does, don't die. We have a running money pool in the company for the first trooper that bears witness to the Liberator jamming. Final words, the Liberator is loud, ugly, heavy, and it kills with a passion. The controls are identical to the ZM66. If you actually get a glimpse of one, the Mark 7 ultralight cannon has started popping up on several fronts. The Brontornis cannon provides far more destructive power on hand than the rocket launcher, with a warhead that excels in both anti-personal and anti-material. It fires 35mm AMI bolts, which fly hot as fuck. You will end up over-penetrating smaller targets. Try and save these rounds for big shit, even more so than with rockets. The recoil on this cannon is fucking nasty, and it will hurt you if you fire it unsupported. Your accuracy also suffers when you fire unsupported, so this isn't a weapon to fire on the move. Sometimes you need to reach out to a distance and put a bullet in something. The Boss sniper rifle is what we have for that role. This finely tuned machine fires full-size 7.76 ammunition. Its high-quality assembly and match-grade barrel means that you can take a 7.76 round from that Liberator battle rifle, stick it in this gun, and get better results. It's bolt action, so don't try and play around with this in close quarters. Even if it does stop nasty things better, just stick with a Liberator or a better gun. Thunderbuster. Crazy fucking lightning sniper rocket launcher gun. Yeah, we don't know either, but it's an awesome gun. The techies tell us that it directs a beam of energy down a focused path or some shit. But just remember, point gun, pull trigger, keep on target, big fucking lightning bolt jumps out of the business end and kicks their ass. It's got a fancy targeting sight on top that makes targeting nice and easy. It takes 2 cells for a full load of ammo. It might take a few seconds to fling that beam out, so use with caution, even if you are planning on taking fire. The weapon's magnified sight feeds from its battery source, so don't leave the magnified scope on too long or it will start eating up the juice that you could use to blow people up.
Hey, meat, how's the front line treating you? Take a seat and listen up. People call me Shaman. Not everything that came through those gates was evil. Everything that came through those gates of the Pulse probably was, but they brought with them an untold number of artifacts, and we can use them. First up on this list are those little blue vials. They look like a vial of water, but it's some kind of healing potion. Yeah, healing potion, I know. It does sound like a joke. It's thick, dark blue water. Guys say it tastes like carbonated vanilla ice cream. Guys who drink it when they stop and take a rest seem to have an easier time recovering from wounds, so follow their lead. Drink up. Okay, next up are these weird helmets. They're rusted, green, old-ass helmets. First couple guys found them and put them on as a joke, or when they lost their own helmets. But those helmets are really good. They stop a lot, and they always seem to fit whoever puts them on. Got guys playing around with those helmets and taking nasty hits and walking them off. Like bleeding out of open, gushing wounds, and then as soon as they put on the helmet, bam! Bleeding stops. It's some weird shit, but it has worked every single time, so we stopped asking questions. We got rumors floating around of guys finding ancient-looking sets of armor. They got like helmets and body armor and rifles, and not like ours. It's like seriously fucking old, like before the recorded history of man old. Some of our guys have tried to put on the armor and they can't, but it comes with a little horn. When you blow the horn, ghost soldiers. No, you can't make this stuff up, I'm serious. They appear out of thin air and they open fire. Their armor looks like ours, some of them look like us, and they fire and maneuver like we do. They speak in languages that aren't from any civilization we've ever discovered. If you find a blue globe with a face on it, grab it. No one knows what they are, but I think there's some kind of captured soul. Pick it up, you absorb the soul, and all the spiritual energy that was captured along with it. This spiritual energy will fill your body completely, surging through every fiber of your being. As long as the reservoir of spiritual energy is coursing through your veins, your wounds are going to close about as fast as they open. While the reservoir holds out, you're going to be a lot harder to kill. If you come across a blue soul sphere, it's luck. If you come across one of those tan megaspheres, it is a blessing of cosmic magnitude. Most guys think they're just a rumor, but I found one. I grabbed it. It was different after that. I don't feel weak when I bleed. I don't get tired anymore. I don't know what was in the sphere. It wasn't just any old soul. But it's happy to have a body of flesh again, and it wants blood, and I'm along for the ride.
I don't know your face. You must be new. I'm the head technician for this little outfit. Welcome to my evil laboratory. Let's start with the environmental hazard suit. This specially lined suit is designed to slip over most clothing and allows you to swim around in the nasty stuff that collapses your lungs and melts your bones and cooks your skin, and all that good stuff. We've got the design worked out so that you can wear it and breathe in dangerous environments, as long as you don't rip the damn thing. Once it tears, that's it. Our UNV light amp goggles have been the standard in night vision goggle technology for about 9 years. They have pretty decent battery life of 35 minutes, considering the usefulness of these things. Micro-superprocessor technology allowed us to make wild leaps and bounds in the fields of science and biotech, and they are a core principle of what makes up this highly sophisticated piece of gear. The combination of processors, highly durable fiber optic sensors, sonic imagers, and finely tuned micro lenses allow for some pretty wicked sick shit. The goggles have two modes, Sonic Zero Light and MV-MT FLIR. Sonic Zero Light uses the full suite of the sonic sensors and image synthesizers in the goggles, and the full strength of the goggles' MSPs to create a crisp and detailed image of zero light environments. Motion Tracking FLIR creates a standard-wide FOV night vision image, then uses MSPs to actively scan for thermal images and moving figures. Then the imaging software overlays the infrared target tracking data on top of the night vision image in real time. It took a little reworking to change the scanners to stop looking for only human targets, and to start looking for 6'9" goat demons and flying plasma eyeballs. We got it down now, though. The Derp, a 9mm pistol on treads with a small camera, is an ugly little robot that more than pulls its weight. Simply drop a pistol magazine in it, toss it out, and it will put holes in anything that's not you. It has a few settings that you can punch into the little handset that comes with it. Open up the console and type in DERPT to set it to turret mode. It will simply sit in place and shoot nasty things when it sees them. Type in DERPP to set the robot into patrol mode, and it will follow you around and disengage to attack targets on its own when it sees them. If you add a Z to the end of any of the above behaviors, it will turn off the gun, which is great when you don't want to have your robot blown up. By the way, since the derp is so small, it can't climb up anything. Remember to pick it back up when you're done. The herp was inspired by the derp, but was intended more for defense than offense. It's a Vulcanet with a camera on it. Takes 3 4.26 magazines and a power cell each time you want to power it up. It will beep to let you know when it's active and will pan back and forth in a 180-degree arc, blasting away any target that it sees. Much simpler than the derp, but to ensure accuracy, it sits on a stationary support platform. Only drop it when you plan to get comfortable. The injector is an abstract representation of you applying first aid to another soldier.
I got him.
Get close, hold key, apply first aid. It's always better to apply meds to someone else. So, hold still while your friend plays doctor.
Pistols and SMGs use the same bullets. Since the magazines are plentiful, and they aren't sealed like the 4.26 magazines are, you can unload rounds from one magazine to the other by hitting the weapon zoom key, with either the submachine gun or the pistol equipped. 2 pistol magazines can be converted into a single SMG magazine, and vice versa.
If you use a pump-action shotgun, make sure that when you pump the weapon to eject the shell, you hold down the pump key long enough to let the shell come out. It isn't super long, but if you just tap your pump, it will short-stroke the shotgun. The spent shell will still be in the gun, and you will be left with a gun that won't shoot.
Since the 4.26 rounds are encased in a propellant to help eliminate the costs of cased rounds, this can cause some problems when the weapon heats up. If the weapon's barrel and receiver heat up too hot through continued fire, there is a real chance that your receiver and barrel will be so hot that the propellant-wrapped rounds will ignite themselves as soon as they are loaded into the barrel. Your gun will start shooting itself, and it will empty the magazine. Make sure you let your weapon cool off before you put a new magazine in, or you're just going to start the whole damn process all over again. You can open and close plenty of doors on demand. Combine this with hand grenades to make for plenty of open frag and clear action.
Don't be afraid to retreat. Honestly, one of the best things you can do when you're about to be overwhelmed is to turn and haul ass to a new, safer spot. Don't be unwilling to give up recently taken territory in order to stay safe.
That grenade launcher underneath your rifle is a great little tool for reeling in a firefight that might be about to get the better of you. It may not have the rate of firepower that the urban artillery launcher has, but it lets you jump between rifle shots and explosives very quickly, meaning you can be ready for just about any threat that can jump you.